Hi, I'm Don Hahn. Welcome to In the Margins, Beyond the Expected. Most ancient cultures have the same basic formula when it came to immortality. It was usually three things. You needed someone's name. You needed an image of the person, like a statue or a painting. You also needed a heroic deed of some kind that they accomplished while they were still alive. Tonight's example is about a young woman who accomplished immortality with nothing more than her face. To make it even more unusual, this young woman's journey toward immortality did not even begin until after she had already died. Our story begins one morning in the late 1880s, where a young lady is discovered, presumably drowned in a small quay off the river Seine in Paris, France. She is taken to the Paris morgue and put on display in hopes for anyone to recognize and identify her. This displaying of unidentified corpses was a common attraction in the 19th century, and this one seemed unusually popular with their features so beautiful and serene. This nameless woman proved a powerful draw for the crowds of Paris. When no one identified her, a plaster mask was made of her face, as was customary in instances like this. Because of her post-mortem popularity, many copies of the woman's face mask were made and were quickly found gracing the windows of gift shops all over France and Germany. By the time we get to the early 20th century, you can see her face all over Paris, especially within the artistic community. She's become a muse for artists of all types. Writers, for example. You could see her watching over painters in their studio or whispering ideas to poets at their desk. She has become the crown jewel of inspiration for the Bohemian community, not only in Paris, but throughout most of Europe as well. In 1958, a toy maker in Norway named Asmund Lerdahl is approached by a small group of anesthesiologists. They ask him if he would be willing to help them design a life-size mannequin to help with teaching a new medical resuscitation technique called CPR. Since Mr. Lerdahl's son had nearly drowned in a frozen pond years before, the plastic toy maker's interest in saving more lives was immense, and he readily agreed to help. While searching for a face to give the training mannequin, Mr. Lerdahl recalled seeing a certain plaster mask hanging in his in-law's home years prior. He remembered the nameless young woman's serene, peaceful features forever preserved in the mask, and decided that she would become the face of the new generation of medical training. Not long after this, he started mass production, calling his new life-saving creation Resusci Anne. It wasn't long before she would be used for teaching people CPR in schools and hospitals all over the world. The face of Helen of Troy may have launched 1,000 ships, but that of our nameless young woman, after her death, has saved more lives than most people can claim to have done over an entire lifetime. Her legacy continues to trickle down through history, saving hundreds of thousands of lives as she goes along. Just being remembered does not make one immortal. Continuing to save the living beyond death, that is how you live on. Until next time, my fellow hidden history hunters, keep digging. If you would like to learn more about the Paris morgue, or even just the dark side of French history in general, I highly recommend my friends at En Savoir Plus. I've included a link to their YouTube channel in this video's description below. Head on over, please check them out. You won't be sorry.